It's Yaxel Lendeborg decision week. Thank Christ. Please, let's get this over with. I believe he has to announce whether or not he is withdrawing from the NBA draft or going to play college on Wednesday. I believe that's the last day of this. So, Yaxel, if you're listening to this, which let's be real, you probably are, you have 3 more days to milk this for everything that you've been enjoying this for. The latest on this, I have some private updates I can get to in a moment, and then I have the public thing that made its rounds on the internet this weekend. Yaxel posted a graphic that I think Greenlight Media made, and you can see it on Yaxel's Instagram story. But the graphic basically said in huge letters, "This year's draft alien, Yaxel Lendeborg, do it all wing, is likely leaving after amazing combine." And then it put all his numbers from last year on it, tagged Yaxel, tagged Michigan pages. Yaxel posts it to his story. Yaxel posts a graphic that says, "I'm likely leaving," to his Instagram story a week after saying he was 60-40 to stay at Michigan and he's completely torn and nobody knows what this kid is going to do. This is just the latest in another line of Yaxel misleading everyone. I mean, I think he has been constantly serving things. He's like prime Randy Johnson. I think a fastball's coming, he throws a curve. I'm sitting on the curve, it's high cheddar. That's Yaxel Lendeborg right now. What do you make of this? Do you think this means anything whatsoever?
I think it does. I've been saying from the jump, I think Yaxel's gone. I do believe $4 million is a lot of money. I just think 4 years guaranteed is the ultimate dream for anybody. That's 4 years of PJs. That's 4 years of staying at the Ritz Carlton. It's just 4 years of a lifestyle you never thought you could live, minimum. I do want to say this. I've been thinking about like ways I can make my impact on the draft show this year as the one newcomer in the group. Dion's draft aliens list will drop at some point. I'm gonna have a whole like I'm gonna have Dion shoot us. I think Dion's draft aliens, Dion's unicorns. I'm just gonna have like lists with people.
Every 5 minutes, we just go to Dion with a new list. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
just
that. Or like,
uh,
honestly, for every single pick in the draft, like you're Mel Kiper, we're just like, so what list was this guy on? And then you have a different list for him. That's good.
that's the first time I've ever heard anybody described like that, and I don't know how to take it really. I haven't decided if it's a compliment or not. Yaxel should go though. Like I really do believe that. I think Yaxel's a great college player. I don't know how great I think of an NBA player he is, and if he's getting this much, like you're a draft alien, go be that because you might not get to be that ever again. And I also don't think you'll ever get this level of attention again, too. Even if he were to come back to college and prove his draft stock hypothetically, next year it's very quiet. It's just okay, Yaxel's in the draft. This time, I think there's a lot of extra around it, and I think when it with extra comes a little bit more likelihood he cracks a rotation quicker, I would say.
Yeah, here's my only pushback on that. I don't think Greenlight Media's commentary is what consensus NBA scouts came away with. Like that's it's not what the experts wrote up after the combine. They didn't say, "Look at this alien who had an amazing combine." They said he was really quiet on day two after a really great day one. Like literally the opposite was written from like Jeremy Woo and Hollinger and all those. It was like he likely didn't do enough. And then Greenlight Media comes in with this graphic with huge letters that calls him an alien. He's got to go. Okay, whatever. I'm fine. Whatever you want to say. This is the interesting part to me about Yaxel is everyone's really torn on it, and I truly do think like it's a total toss up at this point. They're torn on everything though. They're torn on whether he was good or bad at the combine. He was good for half of it. He was bad for half of it. I think there's a clear argument that if he's going to be a guaranteed first round pick, he should go. I don't think that's happened yet. But again, I don't even want to flesh out like what should he do. I feel like we've had that conversation a bazillion times.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested in like what is he doing? at this point. We're 3 days away from the deadline. Is this kid giving any hints or not intentionally into what his decision's going to be? And look, my read on this again, PhD is getting more, it's more put to the test than ever, the body language PhD on this one. Yaxel continues to, I think, enjoy the process, but also enjoy the level of mystery that comes with it. I think Yaxel is greatly enjoying, I don't want to say misleading, but basically that, misleading everyone. I think he likes that everyone is waiting on him, and he's the puppet master. He's molding the clay in his hand, and he's the magician here that gets to do the big reveal soon. And I would bet you magicians greatly enjoy when they're rolling in a trick. That's what Yaxel's doing right now. But I don't know. It's one way or the other. Like he has flatly said positive Michigan things this whole time. He's been posting Michigan updates. He's been posting Marez Johnson and a Daymara hype. So I like one way or the other. If he chooses Michigan, I think NBA people are going to be like, "Damn, this kid really misled us." And if he chooses the NBA, Michigan people, including myself, are most certainly going to be like, "Damn, this kid really misled us." And I keep coming back to the fact that the Michigan staff this whole time has been 100%. We feel confident. And then they told Norlander after the combine, yeah, it feels like 60%. That doesn't feel like it bodes well for Michigan. It feels like that's a lot less confidence than we had. For what it's worth, I mentioned I have a kind of private update here of what I've been hearing on Yaxel as of late. Um, I did receive some texts from multiple people over the weekend that claim they have been tipped off that a decision is coming this week and that the latest they've heard is that it will be a return to Michigan.
Okay.
But I don't buy them. I this is what I've said every time. I don't believe the staff. I don't believe anyone on the Michigan side who says this is going to happen. I am speaking for myself. I hope I'm wrong. My read is that this kid is pulling off a heist of a century and misleading a very gullible Michigan collective here.
Question for you. Has his Twitter picture always been Wolverine?
I think since he committed, yeah.
Okay. That's actually a pretty sick picture. Just want to get ahead of that. Love that. He calls himself Lord Lendenborg. This kid loves himself. I love that. Um, I do believe he's gone. And the reason I think he's gone is I'll have no issue getting on record with this early. If he goes back to Michigan State, excuse me. If he goes back to Michigan, I'm sorry. If he goes back to Michigan, one of the best players in the country, one of the best players in the Big Ten. The only reason I say one of the best players in the Big Ten is I think Braden's the best player in the country at the moment. Michigan makes a very deep run. They might win the Big Ten with Yaxel. I genuinely do not believe Yaxel improves his draft stock by going back. I think whether he's a late first round pick or early second round pick, he's going to get a guaranteed 4 year deal. I think next year's draft is when you look I mean, and maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because they're all like we're watching high school tape versus college tape. Next year's draft class looks insane. If I was him, I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I think this class and some of the weaknesses within it is how guys like him, as well as Tahad Pettiford, can kind of crack it. And I think if you can crack it, just go. Um, but that's just me. Like I think he's going to be a phenomenal player at Michigan if he does return. I question his NBA talent, to be honest. And if you're getting that NBA love, I think you should just go if that's the case.
He scheduled a bunch of workouts. There's one workout at 21, but I think that's the Kings, and I think they have a second round pick too. Almost all of the other workouts he publicly scheduled are like 31 or later. So the workouts he has participated in do not signal that he's getting the promise that he wants in this draft class. I don't know. Again, I think you can interpret all of this however you want. There is enough data and enough just misdirection here that if you want to convince yourself he's coming to Michigan, you could. If you want to convince yourself he's gone, no doubt you could. The only thing I firmly believe here is that Yaxel is enjoying surprising everyone. So if he's outwardly saying something, honestly, I expect the opposite's going to happen at this point. Which honestly, maybe it's a point towards him saying he's likely leaving, and that's his final piece of misdirection. And maybe he is back with that. But good Lord, can we I don't know that I've ever had so much fatigue of a player that hasn't even come to my school yet. And I again, I'm going to love rooting for him if he plays at Michigan. It's not even going to be hard feelings if he leaves at this point. But like, I just want to know. I want some clarity at this point. Cedric Coward let us know. Almost everybody else except Todd Pettiford's let us know what they're doing at this point. Can you please not wait until the final minute just for the big reveal here? Just let us know. It's crazy.
I think so. Two things. Tahad has to wait, I think, and that's why he's doing it. Which brings me to my point on Yaxel. College teams will love this, if that makes sense. Like college teams will love, like not love this. College teams will be okay with this. Is it fair if I call it a circus, G?
It feels circus like. Yes.
Um, okay, so college will love this circus. Not love it. I mean, excuse me, I keep saying that. College teams will be okay with this circus. We saw Shadur try to do the same circus, and we saw what happened, and he fell a little bit. And do I agree with him falling? Absolutely not. But that's the thing. You can get away with stuff in college when you're the best player. You can't get away with in the NBA because there's a 1 percentile in the NBA that are the best players, and then there's 99% of people that are just dudes. And if you don't understand you're just a dude sometimes, you get treated a lot worse than you should be. And I think Yaxel's playing a fine game here where I think he's almost, and maybe this is what he wants, right? We don't, who knows what Yaxel wants to do at this point. But I think he's playing a game here where he might be forced to go back to Michigan because I don't know if anyone else is going to be okay with it from an NBA perspective. Because if you're the Kings picking at 21, do you want this guy that's creating this circus just to go maybe 21 or in the second round? And then, like, realistically, like, what rotation does Yaxel for sure crack in the NBA next year? We don't know. But he could be the best player on Michigan. He could be the best player in the country. And it's like he's creating this circus for Michigan will love it because it's like you're going to come here and you're going to help us and maybe like like improve our season. And NBA teams looking at the circus like, yeah, maybe in 3 to 4 years you're going to improve our season.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it all. The only thing that rings true is that Yaxel is greatly enjoying this. I keep saying it, which he should, by the way. I don't mean that as a slight. Like you are in this position where you have a choice between getting the highest payday in college or entering your professional career. You deserve to enjoy that to the maximum, to the fullest, however you want. It's just there's clearly something about his personality that is enjoying the misdirection. And I don't know how to take that because I think there's a lot of players who could enjoy the spotlight and enjoy this without like doing a daily update publicly on like, ooh, I'm going to tell them that I'm leaving today. Ooh, I'm going to tell them I'm 60-40 Michigan today. Ooh, I'm going to tell them I'm torn. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to do any of the misdirection. You're greatly enjoying the misdirection. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We're 3 days away from this. But yeah, my latest update, hopefully the last update before we get a formal announcement on this, is Yaxel is publicly posting that he's likely leaving, while privately people are continuing to say they're hearing that it's Michigan. Oh my God.